Game 2 between the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers was thrilling to watch and ended with the Panthers securing a 5-4 victory in double overtime, tying the series at 1-1. The first period was action-packed, with 5 goals scored. The second period saw the Panthers gain control of the game. Brad Marchand gave the Panthers a 4-3 lead with a shorthanded goal, assisted by Anton Lundell. In the third period, Corey Perry scored for the Oilers, assisted by Wallman and McDavid, and forced overtime. Overtime saw both teams create chances, but it was in the second overtime that Marchand sealed the victory for the Panthers with his second goal of the game, assisted by Lundell, ending the game at 5-4. Here's how fans reacted to the game. Greg writes, "Beyond entertaining game though." Sad Leaf fan writes, "Now that was entertaining." One fan writes, "End of the day, a hard-fought win by the Cats in a tight series thus far." Oilers fans, "Sometimes that's just the way she goes. Go get 'em next time." Another fan writes, "Now that it's over, I can say that Bob made some incredible saves tonight. I would like to see him make more of the routine ones. I hope Reno, Barkey, and Tikachuk rest up and feel better. I hope Ekblad isn't hurt too much." Travis writes, "Oilers controlled the play and will win the cup, but it's going to take longer than it should because Stuart Skinner struggles to be average." Tim writes, "Florida is basically an all-star team, solely BC of the state's tax structure. Their players take steroids, and they're the dirtiest team I've witnessed in 30-plus years of watching hockey. But Edmonton is giving them all they can handle and more. We have a series." Luke writes, "Tough loss for the Oilers, but Oilers can't feel bad about the series being tied 1-1. A very even series that can go either way. The Oilers have been equally successful on the road than at home in these playoffs, while the Panthers have been better on the road than at home." Courtney writes, "We got the split at home. Already in a way better spot than last year. Everyone needs to take a deep breath, touch some grass, and remember it's Oilers in 6. Jason writes, "I don't know how you recover from that loss if you're the Oilers. Florida going home now for the next 2 off of this win?" This could be Panthers in 5. Florida Panthers write, "This game was full throttle from the very beginning, and Benny is historic, and the Lubricants took a lead. But Jonesy snuck down to tie it, and the Crude got another, and that was only the first. But then Cooley saw through the traffic, and exactly 14 years after, Marchie scored a Stanley Cup final shorty, he did it again, and the Slime Balls did force OT. But Marchie ended it in double OT, which means Cats win." One fan writes, "How the hell did NHL GMs allow the Stanley Cup champions Florida Panthers to trade for Seth Jones and Brad Marchand this season? Best team in the NHL stole 2 elite players at the deadline. Oilers ain't going away that easily though. Stanley Cup is going to be an absolute war every game." Another fan writes, "The Oilers are the better team. No doubt in my mind. They just make dumb decision after dumb decision. Nurse is icing the puck 10 feet from the red line with open ice." Sam writes, "These Stanley Cup finals are going to be amazing. Man, that's tough for Edmonton." Abu writes, "That's going to be a nice flight back home. What a freaking series. Oilers score late in both games. Florida is full value though, even series. Fans win." One fan writes, "Can't watch this Stanley Cup final and not say hockey is the best sport in the world. And what a story. Got all you want. Beautiful setting. Colorful characters like Rat and Worm, and plot full of twists and turns. Hockey fans are so lucky." Another fan writes, "Oilers in 7, no worries, it's part of the script." Jacob says Oilers in 6. MC writes, "This Oilers-Panthers series is so good already." One fan writes, "No guys, it's fine they had to lose one so they can win the cup on home ice. It's literally always been Oilers in 5. There was lots of talk about Florida Panthers player Brad Marchand. One fan writes, "Can't believe Boston sent Marchand to the Panthers." Another fan writes, "The better goalie won. Oilers had nothing left in the tank. Just like that, it's an uphill battle." Another fan writes, "Well, congratulations to the Florida Panthers, and especially Brad Marchand for 2 goals tonight, 1-1 going to Florida." Drew writes, Brad Marchand is the luckiest player ever. Somehow gets traded to the Panthers mid-season and uses voodoo magic to get a dribbler into the back of the net on a poor shot with no defense. Cal says, well, that just increased what Marchand will make next year. One fan writes, Brad Marchand has been so good in the playoffs for the Panthers. Another fan writes, it felt like Marchand was going to be the one to score. He had a couple of breakaways that he missed that would have won the game. Oilers were lucky that he didn't put the ones earlier away as well. David writes, Oilers fans finally experiencing the misery that Brad Marchand has inflicted on Leafs and Canucks fan bases for years. Callum writes, Marchand delivers. Brad Marchand sneaks it right between Stuart Skinner for the game winner in 2 overtimes, as Florida evens. Stanley Cup final reporter Katie Engelson says, a source tells me that Brad Marchand and the rest of the Panthers Dairy Queen group found an Edmonton location and made a visit last night ahead of Game 2. There was no DQ visit prior to Game 1. There was praise for Florida Panthers goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky. One fan writes, Bobrovsky, you deserve the biggest kiss on the forehead for holding it down double OT. Nick talks about Nate Schmidt, writing, Nate Schmidt would be a great fit for the Avs on a cheaper deal if they decide to trade Sam Girard. Florida signed him to a 1-year, $800,000 deal to replace Ekman Larsson, and it's paying off. AVs could double Schmidt's salary and still save $4 million if they traded Girard. There was talk about Panthers player Sam Bennett's contact with Stuart Skinner. Carter writes, props to Sam Bennett there. Pretty much certainly intentional, but no definitive proof. Just a smart, savvy play. People don't appreciate a good rat anymore. Utter woke nonsense. Lord X writes, yeah, the Bennett fall was bad enough, but those Thatchuk pats to the chest to him in the penalty box was just disgusting. They may have Brad on their team right now, but those two are the biggest rats in the league. There was also praise for Edmonton Oilers star Connor McDavid. One fan writes, Connor McDavid different bruh. I ain't never seen somebody make MFS fall on the ice like that. Jason writes, Connor McDavid is better at hockey than anybody in the world is at their craft. Some fans called for Jeff Skinner to be placed back in the Oilers lineup. One fan writes, the only reasonable way to respond to this loss is to put Jeff Skinner back in the lineup for Game 3. Another fan adds, Jeff Skinner needs to be put in next game. One fan wishes Zach Hyman could play for the Oilers, writing, Zach Hyman, am once again willing to give you my wrist. Please take it and play in this series. We need your hits, my king. There was also some criticism of a handful of both Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers players. Joey writes, Matthew Tkachuk is a glorified third-liner. Top Sports Debate writes, Tkachuk have been a pure liability this series. One fan writes, for how much hype Tkachuk gets for being a playoff performer, he's been real mid during their run. Alberta Oilers fan writes, Frederick has very low offensive ability. Every play he's a part of goes full on potato. One fan writes, Bouchard is pathetic. He's terrible defensively, and he's nothing more than a McDavid merchant. Aaron writes, as good as he played, Bouchard was responsible for 2 mental lapses that led to Florida goals. Him not moving Tkachuk out in front of Skinner's view, and his cross-check that led to a penalty. This was the difference maker in the game. What happened today gives a summary of the first 2 games, writing, the 2025 Stanley Cup Final is shaping up to be an epic rematch between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. After 2 thrilling games, the series is tied 1-1. In Game 1, the Oilers mounted a comeback from a 3-1 deficit, with Leon Draisaitl scoring the game-winning goal in overtime to secure a 4-3 victory. Game 2 was equally intense, culminating in double overtime where Brad Marchand netted the winning goal for the Panthers, resulting in a 5-4 win. The series now shifts to Florida for Game 3 on Monday, June 9th at 8 p.m. ET. So, what did you think of the Edmonton Oilers' performance in Game 2 against the Florida Panthers? Let me know in the comments section below. Like this video if you enjoyed watching and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.